Right. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Lancaster. I'm Linda Kinney, and I'm today's worship associate, and our worship service today is brought to you by Web and Wheel. We welcome you here this morning, just as you are. And for this hour together, we invite you to be present and know that for this time, there is nothing else that you need to do and nowhere else that you need to be. For this time together, you belong. Here at UUCL, we honor the wisdom of the world's spiritual traditions. And today our service will draw from and celebrate earth-centered spirituality. So as you might have noticed, we won't be following a regular order of service, but we'll let you know what is going on and how to participate as we go along in our service this morning. And instead of hymns, we'll be singing some chants. So I picked a piece of paper up with words to the chants, and that's what we're going to be singing this morning. And I'll be leading those chants throughout the service, and I will let you know when they're going to happen. Just know that you don't have to sing them perfectly. You can sing or hum, ooh and ah are fine too, and all harmonies will be welcome. Today, we are celebrating the Earth holiday Lammas, the festival of first fruits. It's also known as Lugnasa. This day honors Lu, the Celtic sun god of harvest, fire, and light. The energy of summer wanes now. The earth ripens and grows mellow. The sunset light grows hazy and golden. The crickets and cicadas sing their late summer song. Summer has passed its prime and is unwinding. In Lancaster County, we see fields of corn ready for harvest. Our fields and gardens hold the bounty of the season and the seeds of promise for the future. We must take care of these treasured lands. And so we'll be singing a chant for our chalice lighting this morning. It's that first chant on your purple sheet, and I suspect many of you already know this chant. I know that I sang it at camps when I was growing up. So let's just sing it together for a few times. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, bring to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, bring to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, bring to us beauty, vision, and joy. So now I'm going to invite Judy and Suter to create sacred space for us.
I invite you all to rise as you are able. We are going to call in the directions. So go ahead and stand, and I will guide you through this. We will be turning to the various directions. This is east, south, west, north, and center. So turn to the east. Think of an intention. Spirit keepers of the east on this Lammas day, may your gentle wind blow softly for the earth's golden harvest. Bring healing growth to every grain, ear of corn, fruit, and squash to nurture all of humankind. Spirits who reside in the east, we ask you to blow your gifts of gratitude, communication, and reason into the first harvest, that all of us will be nourished. Turn to the south. Spirit keepers of the South on this Lammas Day, watch as the yellow sun rises and begins to cool in the August sky. Today, the sun casts 3 rays: bounty to the land, bounty to the sea, and bounty to the heavens, so that the horn of plenty will quickly fill. Spirits who reside in the South, we ask that you glow brightly in this place with the force of your passion. Bless us with your healing powers of sacrifice and renewal. Turn to the West. Spirit keepers of the West on this Lammas Day, bring the mists of positive change to all who reap the bountiful harvest. Bless the rains, fog, and all other life-giving waters without which we would cease to be. Spirits who reside in the West, wash over and around each and every one with your blessing of flowing abundance, sharing, and creativity. Turn to the North. Spirit keepers of the North on this Lammas Day, spread the potential for harvest to Earth's fertile gardens so that creative craftsmanship will be realized. Watch as the zest of artistic expression gives way to products from the land. Spirits who reside in the North, replace the greening of summer with ripe, orange, stabilizing growth, connecting us to Mother Earth. Turn to the center, which is where I am. Spirit keepers of the center on this Lammas Day, guide Lu, ancient god of poetry, light, and magic, to use his power to bring about the best ever harvest in 2025. On this day of celebrating the first harvest of the fruits of the earth, may we recognize the fertility of the land and the interconnectedness of all of life. You may be seated.
On this day of Lammas, we honor the god and goddess of the season. At this season, the goddess becomes the mother of the harvest. The gifts she gives us are food, abundance, and plenty. Everything we need to live and grow. She knows that in order to eat bread, we must cut the grain. That in fact, if we didn't cut the grain, it would die anyway. For that is the only way next year's grain can grow. In ancient times, the storehouse was seen as a magical and powerful place. Dark and cool, filled with grain, oil, foods, and treasures. It reminded people of the other world. She is hope and fear. So if there is something special that you are hoping for, you can ask for her help. But remember, she expects you to work for what you want. We honor the harvest mother when we face a fear and go ahead anyway. when we work hard at something and we wait patiently for rewards. The god of this season is Lu, the many-skilled, the god of all the arts and skills of human culture. At this season, when we can feel the sun begin to wane and the days grow shorter, even in the heat of summer, we say the god is already halfway into the other world. He is that realm where ideas are born, where the dreams and inspiration that come from the Spirit can be brought into the world of day and night by our work, our skill, and our art. Lu is the sun god. He is Lu of the long hand or long arm. The long rays of the sun as it sinks lower in the sky at this time of year. He is always reaching out to us with warmth and comfort. Sunlight pays no attention to locks and bars and chains. With his spear of light, Lu fights all forms of slavery and injustice. We can call on Lu to help us whenever we struggle to make the world fairer and freer for everyone. So please join me in chant number 2 as we pay tribute to Lu as he sails across the sunless sea to the dawn of the new year. We'll be singing this through 3 times, so just pick it up as you go along. This is the day of his wake, and we mourn his departure from this world. Oh, tell me why, oh, tell me why, tell me why must the clouds come to darken the sky? Oh, tell me why, oh, tell me why, tell me why must the clouds come to darken the sky? This is the wake of Lu, the Sun King. He lost his life on the solstice day. This is the wake of Lu, the Sun King. He steps into the dark and guides away. Oh, tell me why, oh, tell me why, tell me why must the clouds come to darken the sky? Oh, tell me why, oh, tell me why, tell me why must the clouds come to darken the sky? This is the wake of Lu, the Sun King. He lost his life on the solstice day. This is the wake of Lu, the Sun King. He steps into the dark and guides away. Oh, tell me why, oh, tell me why, tell me why must the clouds come to darken the sky? Oh, tell me why, oh, tell me why, tell me why must the clouds come to darken the sky? This is the wake of Lu, the Sun King. He lost his life on the solstice day. This is the wake of Lu, the Sun King. He steps into the dark to light the way. Thank you. That was great singing.
Here in Lancaster County, we are surrounded by farms, some which have been in the family for generations. Farmers engage in the hard work of tending the fields and harvesting the crops, of raising and tending livestock, and of providing the food on our tables. The organization that supports this work is the Lancaster Farmland Trust. We have 2 speakers today to tell you a little bit more about that organization. Their headquarters is in Strasbourg, and our speakers today are Michaela Bender, she's the communications manager, and Amy Bauman, she is the vice president of strategic priorities. So they will be telling you more about the Lancaster Farmland Trust.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us today. I think what you're celebrating today is sort of what we celebrate all year at Lancaster Farmland Trust. It's our job to protect and celebrate the farmland of Lancaster County. I hope you don't mind. I prefer a little more interactive. So I'm going to ask a few questions just to level set a little bit. Obviously, we're down in the city of Lancaster, so I'm never quite sure when we go out and talk how much people know about the farming that surrounds them. So feel free, give me a little break and see if you can answer a few questions. Anyone have any idea how many farms we have in Lancaster County? Want to take a guess? Do you think it's over 1,000? Over 2,000? Over 3,000? Yeah, so we are sitting right now at around over 4,600 farms in Lancaster County, which I'm always impressed by. Anyone want to take a stab at the average acreage of one of our farms in Lancaster? It's good, that's a great guess. It's a little lower. We're currently around 81 for the average farm, which makes us really unique across the United States. I think if you live in Lancaster, and you're out driving, you take for granted what our farmland looks like. But if you're out in the middle of the country, you can go miles and miles on a 4,000 acre farm and never see a house. And here we are on our 80 acres, and each acre has a lovely farmhouse on it. So something we really take for granted here. Anyone want to take a guess where Lancaster County ranks in terms of the value of the ag products we sell here in Lancaster County in the state? Shoot high. In the state, compared to all the other counties. That's correct. We are number 1 in Pennsylvania, and we are also number 20 in the United States, our county here, in terms of the value of our ag products that are sold. We're also number 1 in livestock and poultry, and number 10 in the whole United States for livestock and poultry. So I think sometimes, we forget about the incredible economic impact that farming has had. A lot of it is here, but a lot of it is going outside of Lancaster County. Another thing we really like to talk about is how much of our land is in irrigation. Anyone want to guess what percentage of our farms are irrigated? Meaning they have, water put onto the farm that's not from rain. 1%. So one of the gifts that is Lancaster County is we have the most productive non-irrigated soil in the country, period. So it's a real, between our soil and our non-irrigation, everything around where is really special. We consider ourselves very, very unique. The other thing I always like to remind people is that 98% of our farms are family owned, as you mentioned, and many of them have been on those farms for generations, over generations. We feel at Lancaster Farmland Trust that our farmland is, just simply put, worth protecting. It is really unique, it is really special, and it's one of a kind in the United States. The other thing we like, who's gotten ice cream so far this summer? Anybody? Who's had a local cantaloupe so far this summer? Yes. Who's had corn on the cob yet? It's been a great year for corn. Yes, all that rain was good for corn. So we have the economic impact that we're thinking about, but then there's all that local goodness, all that stuff that we get to take advantage of. When you go to your local farm stands, that is something that is pretty unique and special to our area. And so that is sort of, as an organization, what we want to protect. We're 35 years old, which is pretty middle-aged in terms of nonprofits. But we have now protected 604 farms in Lancaster County. That's over almost 38,000 acres. And what that means when we protect a farm is that the family that's on the farm signs what's called a conservation easement. It's a very sort of legally word, but what it really means is that easement travels with the farm, the deed of the farm, so no matter who owns it, it will travel with the farm forever. And what it does is it makes sure that that farm stays available for agricultural use in perpetuity. So it really is it's a protection for the soil, right? It's protection for what can be put onto that property. The family still owns the farm, the family can still work the farm, the family can still sell the farm, but it has to remain in agricultural use. And we found it's really important to do that because the land that is our farmland is what? It's nice and flat, and it's also not full of rocks. So who loves flat land that is not full of rocks? Developers. Developers love that land. It's much cheaper to develop that land than to do any kind of redevelopment of land that's already available. And so we found that these conservation easements have been a great way to help families that come to us and really want to keep their farm a farm forever and want to pass it down from generation to generation. So essentially, the other thing that I really like to talk about in terms of preservation is the family is really giving up something when they preserve a farm with us, meaning we are essentially buying the development rights off that farm. So the value of their farm actually decreases when they preserve it. And so I just love that idea that they're so committed to what they do, they're so committed to wanting to do it forever, that they're willing to give up incredible amount of value to put that farm in a conservation easement to the benefit of them, yes, but to the benefit of our community. So it's really a lovely gesture, I think, from the families that do it. Anyone have any questions about that part of it? Mm-hmm.
So what's the smallest farm and the largest?
The smallest farm that Lancaster Farmland Trust will preserve is 10 acres. We have farms in our portfolio over 100 acres. We do try to preserve farms in blocks. So we want to create large blocks of agricultural land because those have the most chance of survivability when they're together in blocks. But yeah, we will not go lower than 10 acres. Mm-hmm.
So I know that the word organic can be misused, but roughly what percentage or number of your farms are organic or mainly organic?
Well, it's probably only, like Lancaster County in general is only around 4% certified organic. But again, that's, a bit of, hard to say exactly. Trends in farming, farmers, typically Lancaster farms were more dairy operations with support crops. We've seen a big change over the last 5 to 10 years where there's a lot more work going into produce and a lot more going into value-added products, in terms of it's not just dairy, it's yogurt, it's cheese.
Is there less dairy or just more?
There's less cows in Lancaster than there used to be. There's still a lot of cows, which is a great segue to the other thing we do at Lancaster Farmland Trust. So when we talk about, obviously we want to be protecting the soil because it's very valuable soil here. It's tier 1 and tier 2 mostly in Lancaster County, which is extremely valuable in terms of its nitrogen value, in terms of its ability to produce high yields. It also has a lot of value because it infiltrates groundwater, right? And so that's one thing that farms are constantly doing. They're helping us recharge our groundwater. And so water is soaking into the soil and not rushing off into our streams and into our roads. But we've noticed over the last 10 years or so, because we have so many cows in Lancaster County, we also have a lot of what? Manure. Absolutely. Essentially, a lot of that manure is washing off into our 1,400 miles of streams and creeks. And then because we're all connected, that water makes its way, that nitrogen that's in that manure makes its way down eventually to the Susquehanna and then to the Chesapeake Bay. So Pennsylvania has a ton of pressure on it, and in particular Lancaster County, to remove some of that nutrient, we call it nutrients, that's a fancy word for cow poop, out of the water. And so something we've done over the last 10 years is really worked with our preserved farmers to do conservation practices on their land. So these are all kinds of things to help them keep cow manure on the fields where it belongs, at the right time in the right amounts and keep it from washing down into the stream. So we're always helping our farmers get money to do, manure pits, stream crossings, buffers, all kinds of field practices, so it's pretty rare now. You'll see all over when you drive, the fields of Lancaster all have no-till, they're all contoured, they all have cover cropping. It's pretty rare to see a brown field these days, even in the winter. Those are all practices that farmers are doing to make sure that that nutrient gets sucked into the soil, which gives our products our rich nutrient value and why they taste so good, and not in the water, where they create environmental problems. So those are the two main things that we're doing all the time. We are protecting farms in terms of putting easements on them, and then we are helping those farmers, once they're preserved, do conservation work so that their farms are environmentally sustainable and beneficial to the community. Anybody have any questions? I know we're going to be late a little later. We'll be back in the coffee room to answer any specific questions you have, but I'll take any right now if anybody wants. Yeah?
How many of those 4,000 farms are in a land trust?
So Lancaster County is #1 in the United States for land preservation. So we are the private land trust, Lancaster Farmland Trust. We have 604 farms currently. We also have a government agency. It's called the Agricultural Preserve Board, which is also preserving farms with state money. And they have, together we have about 125,000 acres. So about a quarter of our land is preserved, which makes us #1 in the United States. However, what we always like to say is that we have 300,000 acres of farmland that is not protected. It's just currently zoned ag and is not protected. So that's sort of the number we're always thinking about. But yeah, all told, we have, I think we're at like 1,600 farms out of the 4,600 that are permanently protected. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for your time. It's always love talking.
So this is the time of generosity during our service where we accept an offering. We reap harvests of every kind. We share our harvest to support our community. So as you give this morning from your financial harvest, think of the ways you feed this community. And as you see others giving, think of the ways in which you are fed. The plates may now be passed. I invite you to join with me in the affirmation of faith, and this is found in the front cover of our gray hymnal. We will say it first in English and then in Spanish. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. El amor, el espíritu de esta iglesia y el servicio de su ofrenda. Esta es nuestro mandato, el convivir unos en paz, el buscar la verdad, amor, y adornos unos a los otros. So, I will invite you to coffee hour after church, and we'll have coffee, and we have special treats today. And we also invite you to join in conversation, talk to our speakers about preserving farmland or any questions that you have, and also engage in community. So for this service, as most of you know, this summer, our ministers usually take a break. And this year, Reverend Howard asked the worship associates to each take a Sunday that we were in charge of. And we could get speakers, or we could do a sermon ourselves, but it was up to each of us to organize the service. So immediately I chose this Sunday because it was Lammas. But this kind of service does not happen in a vacuum. This service was under the umbrella of Web and Wheel, and so I pulled a planning committee together, and I just want to say thank you to them. That was Judy Hurlbut, Linda Dobbins, and Amy Mozingo back there. Y'all want to stand and be recognized, because this was great. Great. We also want to say thank you to Amy Mozingo for the fabulous outfits that you saw here today. That was all her. And if you need any clothing designed for you for special occasions or unseasonal occasions, not, yeah, she's back there waving, no. I want to thank the speakers from the Lancaster Farmland Trust. Thank you so much for coming here and talking to us about farmland in Lancaster County. I also want to say thank you to Luann and David for being our harvest queen and Lou, the sun god. You did an amazing job. So thank you for agreeing to do that. You were wonderful. So I'm just going to call on Linda now to talk about our next part of the service.
I do also want to extend the invitation to our coffee hour. Our speakers have some materials they will be handing out downstairs in Emerson Hall and answering questions, as well as we're going to be showing a very short video on the National Farmland Trust. So that is an extension of what they do in Lancaster County, so as well as having some real lovely treats. We reap harvest of many kinds. Traditionally, at the end of the harvest Thanksgiving rites, food was given to the needy, as well as today after this service. The sacred grain is a central symbol. Breads were made with newly harvested wheat, and today we are collecting produce to donate to a local food bank. And so I would like to invite people that are willing to bring up the baskets on the rows, wherever you find a basket with gifts in it, would you please bring it forward and put it here on the steps, and we will we will take all of that to a local food bank. So we appreciate those gifts, and if you would bring them forward, we would appreciate that very much.
While we're doing that, we're going to sing our last chant of the service, and I'll ask you to rise as you're singing that. It's a really catchy chant, and just put some energy into it, which will bless our harvest gifts here. Our hands will work for peace and justice. Our hands will work to heal the land. Gather round the harvest table. Let us feast and bless the land. Our hands will work for peace and justice. Our hands will work to heal the land. Gather round the harvest table. Let us feast and bless the land. Our hands will work for peace and justice. Our hands will work to heal the land. Gather round the harvest table. Let us feast and bless the land. Our hands will work for peace and justice. Our hands will work to heal. All harmonies welcome. Gather round the harvest table. Let us feast and bless the land. Our hands will work for peace and justice. Our hands will work to heal the land. Gather round the harvest table. Let us feast and bless the land. Our hands will work for peace and justice. Our hands will work to heal the land. Gather round the harvest table. Let us feast and bless the land. One more time. Our hands will work for peace and justice. Our hands will work to heal the land. Gather round the harvest table. Let us feast and bless the land. Thank you. Linda's going to do a blessing. Sorry.
And I leave you with these harvest words today. The seeds once sown now have grown. Reap the rewards of the rebirth. Give great thanks to Mother Earth. Blessed be. Thank you.